The original Chevy Grill ClodBuster is now finished. Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. I'm over here, I don't know if you can see me because of this beast. God, you forget how big these things are, don't you? Absolutely incredible. So, as I said, yeah, this is now finished. So, straight off the bat, this is not mine. I've just restored this for a friend of mine. And this will eventually be going to the US. Yeah, I've had it lying around a long time. This is what it looked like before. So luckily the body hadn't been painted, which was a great thing. Just made my life a little bit easier. And as I say, we've restored the chassis. If you don't know, the Clod, the original one, came out in September 1987 on 58065. For me, it's probably the most iconic vintage RC car of all time. I can't think of anything else that beats it. You know, if you take this out of the loop and you're looking at your Blackfoot and your Monster Beetles and possibly the Lunchbox, but I think this is kind of next level or two above it in that sort of iconic status. But I'm sure as individuals we all have our own, don't we? But I think sort of generally, I think this is kind of, that's how it's thought upon. Right, so let's get into what I did. So the first process was obviously to strip the chassis completely down. Now when I'm doing that process, I'm looking for cracks and things that are broken basically. Now I did know, shout out to Martin in Quebec who we bought this off. He did say that the middle of the bottom of the chassis had a crack in it. It's where the four ball joints go onto the middle and the red arms hang off it. Yeah, excuse me. Now I've had a good look at that and I've made a slight repair to it best I can. Don't think it's actually going to affect the chassis if he chooses to run it in the future. I think it'll be fine. But the only option after that is replacing the chassis. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I don't think it needs it because you've got the added cost of a brand new chassis, vintage one if you can find one. Personally, don't. There were a few little cracks here and there in different areas, but luckily nowhere important. So I've reinforced those with super glue. Again, running it won't have an impact. So yeah, that was the first process. And then when we had it all in pieces, I'd bought ages ago a full bearing set to put in it. This actually only had 4 bearings in it, which I believe you get in the kit, which just on the they're on the inners of each gearbox. So there's a pair on either gearbox. So we replaced every bearing with every bush with bearings, and looking at it, this has not had a hard life, this truck. It's not run a lot. At the same time, obviously we cleaned all the parts up and had a look at everything else, and then basically re-greased everything, and just had a look at the gearboxes and just make sure they were mint. But again, even looking at the pinions on the motors, you can see this has not had a hard life, this truck. And then once I got that done, it was obviously time just to put all the chassis back together. I did have to jump onto Tamiya USA and download the bullhead manual, because usually I'm pretty good with these things and I strip it down and I pretty much know how it goes back together. But there were certain things on the Clod that were quite new to me, so I thought let's not take any chances. At the same time, I'd always planned to put the tyre decals on this. Now I bought these little Goodyear decals off eBay ages ago. Now they're not perfect. The diameter, the shape of them are not really meant for this, so I did have to make a cut in the middle. So obviously you get them like that in one piece. I cut in the middle, which allowed me to do that. I don't know if it works or not. You know, you regular guys know I do like my tyre writing and tyre decals, and I just think I personally think on this truck it does look better. But obviously if he doesn't like it, he can take them off. And then we got on to the bat I wasn't looking forward to, because the shell was pretty minging, a little bit of dirt and dust, but mainly age, you know, a lot of yellowing on it and what have you. So the first process was to get all the bits off of it. Now the chrome on this car was never tip top, and we knew that, but it was never a case. We weren't trying to make this thing a mint vintage model. It's carrying its battle scars. No problem with that whatsoever. Got the decals off the shell, they came off pretty easy, and then I think I washed it with hot soapy water on 3 different occasions, mainly just to get the sort of dirt and grime off. There's not a lot you can do with a yellowing, but by the time I'd scrubbed it and whatever, it came up reasonably well, and I was a little bit more confident about actually getting the paint on it then. The paint, box art paint, is Tamiya TS8, what's it called, Italian red. So that's taken a can and a half to do this shell, but it's the same colour as the Subaru Brat, but considering it's a used shell, I think it's come up really well, to be fair. And then next stage on to the decals. So I used Reproduction MCI decals for this. I've used those before, ClodBusters from MCI, so I knew the quality was pretty decent and the colours were a decent-ish match. I did leave, obviously I fully redid the shell and decals, but the daylighter spotlights, the chassis decals that were already on it, because they were original, I just left them on. No point taking those off to replace them with Reproduction. Decaling itself, very straightforward. Yeah, very straightforward. It probably took from start to finish probably about 40 minutes, and that was really taking me time. But yeah, as the decals start to go on, and then you start to add the bits of the truck back together, windscreen, the turbo blower or whatever it is, and the bits of chrome, it really does start to come alive. So after all that, after a day and a half, this is what we're left with, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. Really happy, considering what it sort of was, and I wasn't really looking forward to getting into it because I don't know the ClodBuster that well, to be honest. So I had put it off for a while. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I put the wheels and then I slapped the body shell on, I was like, oh wow, yeah, that looks cool. Anyway, let's drag the camera over and have a close-up on this bad boy. Look at the size of that thing. It's incredible, isn't it? If you've never owned a Clod, you probably don't appreciate how big it is. Oh, look at my hand on how big those tyres are. Even the shell, although it's supposed to be a 1/10 truck, it looks way bigger than a 1/10 in my opinion. And I'm saying that because of the size of the shell. But you saying that, you probably could. I've seen people put the clear windows in, which are, you can get transparent ones, and you could put driver figures in. That'd be pretty cool to do. And then from that angle, so it's a truck. I don't get tired looking at it. It's again, it's just a silly thing to say, but it's kind of just pure Tamiya, isn't it, from back in the day? And then from that angle, as you can see, the daylighter decals I left on, with them being original, and the white lightning and the 4x4x4 on the chassis. No point taking those off. And I did just go over the tyres with some silicone spray, cleaned them first, hot soapy water, and then just sprayed them up a little bit. Probably could do with some more on, but while I'm moving it around, that's a little bit pointless, to be fair. So even though on camera and visually it looks fantastic, there are a couple of things needed. There's 4 very small screw and bolts needed that hold the front and the back tailgate and the bumper on. I don't have those at the moment, so I'm hoping I'll get hold of some before this gets sent off to its new owner. And the roll bar, it bolts down, but the 2 arms that come back, these arms here, there's some chrome mounts that are missing. Now I've been keeping my eye out for a set of those, but not found any yet. That's going to be quite a tricky item to get. Again, don't want to buy a big fancy all new roll bar. Kind of want to find those parts to keep it sort of fitting in with what this kind of truck is. And also there's some detailing that I am thinking of doing. The front windscreen surround could be done in silver, and the little front window, the little triangle bit, can be done in silver as well. And then there's a lip here that runs round this bar here. You could do that in silver as well. Now that's superb detailing. Reason I haven't done that, 2 reasons actually. First of all, I only finished this yesterday, so I'm just leaving it alone for 48 hours just so the paint gets totally hardened. And I also don't know if that was how the box art originally was on the original Clod. I need to check that out. Even if it wasn't, I'll probably still do it in the future, because it just adds that little level of detail on that just sort of takes a truck to the next level. But I will have to just get some pictures of the original Clod just to see if that was done back then. And that's all it needs, to be fair. Right, before this video ends, I'm going to be a little bit controversial about the ClodBuster. Just going to give my sort of opinion on what I think the ClodBuster is all about. For me, the Clod doesn't get any better than this right now. And what I mean by that is just looking at it. Once it's all looking 100% box art, it's an absolute thing of beauty. You know, it really is, it's gorgeous. But running it, it's just not for me. Just really not for me, my friends. It's an absolute tank. Now, I've never had my own ClodBuster, but I have sold quite a lot over the years, or quite a few over the years, and I have had little runs with them. It just does nothing for me, I've got to be honest. It's an absolute tank. I just don't think it goes well at all. Now, you can spend a lot of money upgrading the Clod. Lots of people have done it, lots of YouTube channels have done it, and it becomes something amazing. Now, I've never done it, and I believe you're probably looking from a Clod, even if you go with a Riri, forgetting the cost of the kit, you're probably looking at about, I don't know, £600 to £800, if not even more, to buy all the bits to convert this into something that really works. And I love that. And I've got to say, before I give a negative to that, if I had my own Clod and I had that kind of money lying around, I would do it. 100% I would do it, because they look and they run absolutely superb. The negative bit for that for me is it's not a ClodBuster anymore, is it? Now, that takes away from doing it for me slightly. Again, I've never done it, but I believe all you use is pretty much the gearboxes and the body shell. That's the only sort of Tamiya parts left. No doubt be some other little bits, but pretty much the rest of it is all aftermarket parts. So it's kind of not a Tamiya ClodBuster after that. But again, with all that said, if I had a Clod and I had the money, I'd 100% do it. Because they look so much fun to run, and you can make the things quick, they handle, you know, it becomes a proper monster truck. I guess that's actually my point. It's not really a monster truck, is it? A little bit like the Blackfoot and Monster Beetle. They're not true monster trucks. They've just got big wheels and tyres on them. And especially more so with the Blackfoot and the Monster Beetle with the ORV chassis. You know, the chassis is not that high off the ground. It's the wheels that take it up. At least here, I suppose we've got a little bit, but you know, your gearboxes are pretty low. Anyway, I'm not having a go at the Clod at all. For me, running them is not much fun in standard form. But with that said, to have one now like this is that's just like a time tunnel right back to '87. And again, never had one back in the day. But I can't remember the first time I actually saw a Clod in real life. It's probably one I bought when I was buying and selling them back in, well, probably in early 90s. And yeah, as I said earlier, I don't think you appreciate the size of them until one's in front of you. There's nothing like it whatsoever. Anyway, I've dribbled on enough, my friends. I really do hope you like it. I know there's so much love for the Clod. And maybe in the future I'll get my own. Not bothered about going original, but yeah, maybe we'll do that big conversion at one stage in the future. Who knows? Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Just sat here now, just looking at my work, and it's like, yeah, that is nice. Anyway, my friends, I'll end this video here. So once again, thanks so much for watching. It's massively appreciated. If this is the first time you've come across one of my videos, if you could maybe consider giving this a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for our future videos. And if you do that, you might as well smash that notification bell for our weekly videos so you don't miss any. YouTube is supposed to send notifications out that new videos have been launched. I don't think that works, to be honest, but not to worry. Anyway, my friends, as always, hope you're all doing well and happy RCing.